So I can show you a little something that I like to call homework. It's very apparent to me that pretty much everybody reads the headlines, the posts, or whatever that's constantly in the news on Facebook, on Twitter, wherever you get your news from, even the TV. They talk about a subject they know you're not going to look up. That's pretty much what it is. So let me demonstrate to you what somebody that's not so lazy does. Even if it's cursory, I'll show you exactly what I do. Because it's a little habit I picked up during college that I thought was very important. Because to give you a little idea, for a doctoral dissertation, for mine at least, it was required that you had at least, I think it was 75 or 100 references in your dissertation. They do this because for every factual statement that you make, you need evidence to back up factual statements. It is what it is. The literature review on its own is packed full of them, right? And they want to make sure you know what you're talking about when you talk about it. I had like 173. That's how many I had. Well, I kind of continued the same process. So when I see a news article come out and say certain things, I look for their references. If it's just a bunch of words, they're telling me a spin. If they link to something and it's a link to one of their other sites or one of their other pages with a different story, they're fluffing themselves. They're patting themselves on the back for a job done good, and thinking that that's enough. That's all they need to do to convince you that they're telling the truth, and it is what it is. Well, let me give you an example. The stimulus package that the Democrats have recently passed, it's trash. There's a reason why everybody rejected it, but there's some people out there saying, what the F? That's money in my pocket, man. Why are you messing with me? Because it would have given them another $600. It was just a renewal, basically. $600 on top of unemployment, which was a horrible idea. $1,200 per person in your pocket that you have to pay back. But there's some other stuff in there, man. Did you guys bother to read it? No one did. Not even me. That bill, and I'll show you in a second, has more junk in there than it's worth. And there's not going to be any negotiations on removing it. They just want Trump to look like an asshole. And they're succeeding because there is some stuff in there for us. For us, we plebs that live in the suburbs, have rent, all that. So let me show you what I'm talking about.
Oh, if you're really so good, don't stand there. Show me what you can do.
But, Master, my knowledge of Kung Fu is so small.
Huh. That's true enough. Well then, time for us to leave. Okay.
Here's the bill. House Democrats released updated version of the HEROES Act. I did not go to any of the news sites. This is from appropriations.house.gov. This is the House. This is what they did. They give you a synopsis of the greatest things in there. Honor our heroes through giving them money. Support small businesses by doing the paycheck protection. But they're giving people unemployment benefits, paying them more than what they get on the job. So why fucking bother with this? And they say it's to protect lives and the livelihoods and the life of our democracy. What does this mean? I'll show you. It doesn't mean anything that they want it to mean. So they go on and say this support for their treatment and tracing, direct payments. This is what everybody cares about. Protect payrolls, ensure work safety, health coverage. This annoys the shit out of me, actually, when they're talking about, we need to provide adequate health care to people. No, what they're doing is they're providing you health insurance, not health care. Don't inflate the two. Insurance is a payment into, oh shit, I might need this one day to cover costs. Healthcare, if they were to actually provide what they're saying, would mean free clinics. Would mean open doors requiring, you know what? A good law for free healthcare to all would be to require every doctor that's a general practitioner or a specialist to take on a certain percentage of pro bono cases every year for those that can't afford it. That would be a good policy to do. But they don't do that. No. They want their hands in the insurance business. That's what it is. They want their hands in the insurance business. That's a little tangent, but that's what that is. Bolstering housing assistance. So they give you a bunch of bullets, right? And you're like, okay, can I trust this thing? Is that what this is about? Where's the original? Well, here it is. The text version of the HEROES Act is here. The one-pager legislation is here. Section by section summary is here. So this little section right here is the most important. Well, I opened it up, buddies. This is the bill. This is the bill that went in. So, they gave you some bulleted points because they want you to look at the best parts of it. They don't want you to look at the shit that's in it. So, let me demonstrate. So, I went down through this guy. Related programs. What the fuck is that? Related programs to human services and community supports. They don't really tell you. Child nutrition and specialist supplement nutrition program for women, infants, and children. This is the WIC program, I think, is what they're talking about when I looked at it. Funding provisions, small business, how they're going to get their money. Miscellaneous. Miscellaneous? What is miscellaneous doing in there? That, okay. Makes no sense. Revenue provision, net operating losses. This is for people losing money during COVID. I can understand that. This is our section right here. Economic stimulus for us. Relief for multi-employer pension plans. Relief for single-employer pension plans. And other retirement related. Well, that applies to some of us too. Which is good. So there's a few sections in here that will help us, the people. Okay. Clarifications and improvements to pandemic unemployment assistance. It does not remove the $600. It adds it. Extension of relief of states and employers. Action for processing backlogs. Additional benefits and mixed earners. What's that mean? Yeah. There is some stuff in here, though, that is disturbing. For example, pandemic state flexibilities. This is still giving states and governors the leeway and flexibility to do what they want, but it also gives shitbaggins like Ted Wheeler money. You know, the guy that is destroying Portland single-handedly. So they have some health provisions in here. Vaccine development, that's all right. We can deal with that. Price gouging prevention, that's an important thing. Related support for Wi-Fi hotspots and other equipment. What does that have to do with COVID? Wi-Fi hotspots. That has nothing to do with COVID. Emergency benefit for broadband service. Why? Is broadband now core infrastructure? And if so, that makes the internet a core infrastructure, which means the abuses that we're seeing with censorship violates our constitutional rights because it is protected by the second, the free press. Well, the internet is now the press. I am typing the words. I do not need a printer press. Continued connectivity. Don't break up the T-band. Compensation for Martha Wright. Prison phone justice. Okay. I can understand bailing out the agriculture. That's a really good one. So, most of this is not too bad. So long as you go through it and see what's up with there. But there's some points in here you're like, hey, what the fuck? No. 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 For example, providing assistance to state, territorial, tribal, and local governments. Why? They fucked up their budget and you want them to give them more money? Most of the funding is right there. Support for a global response to COVID-19. No. How about we worry about our own? 200, as they said in the presidential debates last night, 210,000 people dead, and you want to worry about the globe all of a sudden? Nah, fuck you, man. No. We got 52 states, or 50 states. However you want to count them, because there's some options, apparently. The global response isn't necessary. How about United States response? How will we improve that response? Why do we have to worry about everyone else? It's just like policing the universe. We don't need a global response. That's the dumbest fucking thing ever. We need a state, or not even a state. We need a federal response for the country. Putting the power in the hands of the governors was a smart move, because it demonstrates the inept governors that don't know how to do their fucking job and got the position so they could float through basically on an easy living. But now that shit hit the fan, you see the failures of who's a horrible, horrible governor. In trying times, character demonstrates who's a leader and who is not. What the fuck is this? Promoting and advancing communities of color through inclusive lending? This is a violation of the constitutional amendment. Civil Rights Act. This is discriminatory practice right here. You're providing money exclusively to a group based on race. I can challenge this at this point. Say, no, you can't do this. That's illegal. The violations of civil liberties and the Civil Rights Act. You can't. Just having that one thing in here makes this entire bill illegal. Isn't that amazing? It gets better, though. You go down this thing and you just... see, this is what I did. This has 4.5 pages, almost. There's the 5th page. 4 pages of just the table of contents, which highlight... And their table of contents highlights every single section that's in this bill. So you can see it from start to bottom, to top to bottom. And if you wanted to read some of the sections in here, you just, search for it. Search for those words, because the exact title is the same thing as in here. So you can go down and go start reading through the legalese of what's being provided. But the thing is, and I'll show you in a second, this thing is massive. Accountability in government operations. Accountability. Census matters. Okay? Census is good. Leave it alone. Other matters. What's other matters for accountability in government operations? What do they want to throw in there? This is funding for themselves. Fuck them. They make millions because they own stocks and are able to manipulate the system so they can make more money. Nah, you can suck it. You don't deserve more money. Foreign affairs. What does foreign affairs have to do with COVID? Securing America from Epidemics Act. Yeah, well, that was something Obama didn't do. So, immigration matters. Prisons and jails. Victims of crime. No Hate Act. What does this have to do with a virus? Bankruptcy protections, I could see that. That makes sense. These might have something to do with COVID. This, no. Nope. Nothing to do with COVID. This is what they mean that it's not a clean bill. What does this have to do with COVID? What does broadband have to do with COVID? Now, if you can justify it in your mind, as an example, well, you kind of need broadband for people to work from home, like I do. I work from home. Okay, kind of makes sense, I guess. So they do some amendments, and then they have some other miscellaneous matters and other matters. This thing makes me twitch. Let me demonstrate to you why no one's reading this fucking thing. So, there's 4 pages, almost 5, of just the table of contents. Opening up the book and seeing what chapters are there. It goes all the way to U in the alphabet. It nearly got through the alphabet. I'm going to scroll down through all of it. 2,154 pages. That's how long this frickin' thing is. 2,150. Who wrote this? Seriously. And here's a big chunk of money that's just sitting there. Resending this chunk. Thousands, millions, billions. They have no problem writing out the big numbers for everyone. They want to give a whole shit ton of money to the states. They don't care what state it is. They don't want to have governors held accountable for their failures of governing their own budget, because that's pretty, that's pretty basic. That's one of the things they have to do. So, what do you think of that?
That's very interesting. You've done well. You've got the right technique.
Now that was just the bill. As you notice, I went through the table of contents, and if I was curious about the miscellaneous matters, I went and looked at them. The miscellaneous matters were fluff. They were, oh, by the way, we should also do this. I know it has nothing to do with COVID, but, it's related to the underlying topic of this section, so we're just going to do it. That's what those pieces are. But somebody commented on the thing, because I saw that they rejected it. I'm like, well, maybe they shouldn't fund the fucking states that are failures in the first place. That's their own fault for being a piece of shit location. Maybe you should not suck. That's a good idea. Somebody was like, well, where is that in the bill? I didn't see that. What, did you read the articles and not the bill? That's clearly what's in there. So I posted the bill to this person and highlighted the 4 sections that are explicitly giving money to every state. And then I noticed. That's literally everyone. Everyone does this. They just read the articles. They pay attention to the articles. They don't read or pay attention to the shit that's being pushed through. 2,000-page bill. That's a fucking book, man. That's a big-ass book. Nobody gonna read that shit. Hell, I didn't even read that shit. That's how huge it is. I went through the sections. I'm like, okay. And I spot-checked a few to see what they were talking about. How much money they're giving in that direction. We're getting, out of the $2 trillion, every American people are getting about this much. $2 trillion, we're right here. We should be in more of it. We're more important than all this other shit that they plan on funding. That's what's in that bill. A lot of state relief, business relief. Small business relief, I can understand. Big businesses don't. When everything was shut down, who got to stay open? Ask yourself that question. World was shut down, Walmart was still open, Target was still open. Other big boxes were still open. But was the local businesses closed or open? Hell, drive-through food shops were still open. They had to shut down for about a month so they could do some preparedness. But then your Taco Bell came right back up. Your Wendy's, your McDonald's. For you Texans, the Whataburger, wide open. In and out, wide open. But the local restaurant, you're fucked. Family-owned restaurant, you're screwed. Yeah, that seemed fair, right? Big businesses got to reopen. Your local shops, you're screwed. Sucks to be you. I think that's all I have to say about this. If you want to be interested, you want to start running your mouth, at least know what you're talking about. Take the time to at least read the table of contents and maybe look through a couple of the sections like, hey, what the hell is that? Apparently my cat wants out. Because if you don't, you're just a dumbass reading the news articles from the media that's lied to your face over and over and over again. Here's something fun you could try. With the original bill, I want you to go in and check out these articles that say this is what it says in there. You'll find that, no, it really doesn't say that. CNN misrepresented parts of this one. Fox misrepresented other parts of this one. And it's easy to do because the goddamn thing's a fucking novel. So there's your challenge. I'm going to link it in the description so you guys can see the bill. And you have fun with that. I didn't read the whole thing. I only read sections that were interesting to me. And I realized that we are a fraction, a very small fraction, of this overall spending bill. Most of the money goes to big and small business. Small business would have been preferred. I would have been okay with that. But big business? Nah, y'all fuck yourselves. They have insurance. They're fine. We'll torch them. Yeah. That's, I think, all I got to say about that. And I'll see you next time.
I only want to prove that I am the greatest. Ha!